Hi everybody, Alexander with Divine Reconnections, talking about my next series of videos. This is something my partner said. I went on vacation to Park Cities to see my sister with my partner, and we are talking about what we did for the blue full moon, super moon that had passed. What were the things that we did to let go? And even my partner, bless him, he's an engineer, and he does my gratitude list with me during those times. He does my letting go lists and dumping lists, and so he did his list that night, and we were talking about it, and just something he said totally made sense to me. And I know we all do this. And he said about things that take residency in your brain. We all have things that take residency in our brain, right? And it just gets in there, and then it just stays there, and it stays there in our brain, and we think about it over and over and over again. And how do we let go of it? How do we let go of that monkey mind chatter that goes over and over in our brain, or like that hamster wheel, right? That goes around and around, that you constantly think about. And for his situation, it was about, he transitioned out of a job into another job, and it was a job that he really was excited about and really wanted to really have a path with, but it just didn't happen. It wasn't in his highest and best. And his monkey mind chatter was, what could have been differently? What could I have done differently? What should I have done? We all have those situations when we go through something of what could I, what should I? And that just plays in our brain over and over again. And so how do we let go? What are the things we can do to let go of those things that take residency in our brain? And how do we just move them out so they start shifting out of our brain? One technique I love to do, and I've talked about this in my videos, is forgiveness letters. Forgiveness letters are so powerful, right? The forgiveness letters allow us to connect to the could have, should have energy, and really connect to that piece of that past, and help us really start saying, you know what? I could have done this, I should have done this, but it doesn't matter anymore. That's irrelevant. It's not part of my path anymore. It's not my truth. I recognize I went through this experience. I recognize these are the emotions I felt. I recognize all of the things that happened in this situation. And I did the best I could. It's recognizing that you did the best you could. We're all human. We all learn from our mistakes. We all learn from our lessons at some point. And it's about connecting to that path. It's connecting to that past to recognize that we did the best we could in that circumstance. And what were the things we could have learned? What were the things that came out of it? Taking the time to really forgive yourself and forgive everything that happened, that you may not have wanted the outcome of the way it was. And really being able to speak to that side of you and say, I want to let that go. I want to forgive that. I want to move on. I want to be done with it. It doesn't serve me anymore to stay in that space. And really giving yourself the time and being in the humble, right? Being humble and being in that place of vulnerability to get to those things, to get those emotions, and forgive yourself for it being there. So that way it can finally start to move on. So forgiveness letters are so important to be able to really just move past those things. Another thing that I like to do too is full moon. Every time there's a full moon, I always like to take that full moon and really write my dump list, really write all of the things that have happened between the last full moon and that full moon, all the things that I want to dump and let go of energetically, that I no longer want to have connection to. I make that list and I burn it. And the act of burning really energetically starts to move that stuff out of you, starts to move that stuff out of your space. So that way you can start to recalibrate and get back onto your path, get back onto a place of positive thinking and momentum versus having that roller coaster, thing in your brain, that replay of that thing in your brain. It allows to start shifting that out of your space so you can finally get out of that. Utilizing the full moon is always so good for that. And even the new moon, right? Because the full moon is all about dumping and releasing, and the new moon for me is all about new beginnings and manifesting. Taking the new moon and talking about, okay, this stuff happened. This is my monkey mind going on. But you know what? This is what I want my reality to be. Making my wish list, making my gratitude list, making my this is what I want. This is the way I want to think now. This is the way I want to be now. And writing that list and burning it as well on a new moon. That's super helpful to really start getting things moving. And then rewriting, another tip is like rewriting the story. What as if you go back, rewriting the story and say, okay, this is what the story that I want it to be. This is the story that it should have been. This is the story that is important to me and I can connect it to. And taking the time to really write what that is and what that looks like and what that in your mind's eye would have been the most ideal place for you. Really speaking to that and allowing yourself to speak to that, because then that will also help to shift that stuff that takes residency in your brain. Reminding yourself, I am the self-worth. I have the self-worth. I am enough. I am this. I am powerful. I am that good. This is my reality. And as you start to rewrite that story of what it really is in your mind's eye, then this stuff starts to also shift and starts to take out. And it's also important too, right? When this stuff starts to take residence in your brain, catch it when it comes up, recognize it's coming up, vocalize, right? It's so important to vocalize that ego. I always say it's like a version of ego, or it's the little devil on our shoulder, or the little guy that likes to snicker and be like, haha, I got you again. I've got you in this place. I used to, like, when I was doing inner work years ago and I was doing inner work on my self-worth, that always popped up all the time. It's that little guy that I would be like, get the hell out, get out of my space. I don't need you to be here. It's not positive for you to be here. You're not helpful. I don't need you to be around, right? Catching that like those things that pop in our brain and realizing they're popping in our brain and be like, nope, I'm not going there. I don't need you. You're not positive and you're not helpful to the situation, so you can get the hell out. Being able to vocalize that out loud, as silly as that sounds, it really does work. And it really starts to help move and shift things out of your space. So that way you don't get tripped up in the actual motion. If it's anger, I'm not going to go anger. Anger is a wasted emotion. I'm not going to go there. You can go ahead and leave. It doesn't benefit me for me to be angry or allow this stuff to come through. It's not my story, not my monkey train, to let it go. Being able to vocalize that, immediately the body flushes that emotion out. Immediately the body starts to let go of that thought. So that way it doesn't it doesn't take form of residency in your body, which then turns into a story of some sort. And that story, once it becomes a story, that story starts to manifest its reality. And so it's important for us to catch residency of those things, immediately catch it, recognize it, say it out loud, be like, nope, you can go. I don't want it. I don't need it, don't want it. And the moment you can do that is when the energy, right? You immediately put that boundary up of energy so that emotion, that thought, that residency can take hold, and then all of a sudden start putting roots down and developing into a story. So being able to catch that as it comes up. And then something else that also can help with things that take residency in your brain that you want to let go of is utilizing positive affirmations. Right? Utilizing is, I am enough. I have power. I can speak my voice and it is heard and respected. I am a power figure in my profession. My voice is appreciated. I am appreciated. I have respect in my life, right? Using those positive affirmations and saying those things out loud will also start to move those things that take residence in our brain. Those situations, those emotions that have popped up because of a situation that's happened, that starts to take residence in your brain. And when you use positive affirmations about your self-worth, about you are enough, about how your life is and how much momentum you have and how much you're recognized, how it's safe to be seen, how it's safe to be heard, all of that, when you are saying those positive affirmations over and over again, the brain again starts to be like, okay, this doesn't calibrate. This is not computing to what she's saying. It doesn't calibrate. We need to move it out. And so the brain will start to shift whatever is also in that residency that takes up residence. It start to bubble that energy. That way it can finally move out of the space. So positive affirmations really do help to also get you through something and get that work. Get your body to start recalibrating to a different space. And so that really does help. Something else also too, and I love to do, and I don't do it enough myself, and I'm trying to do, last couple of days I've been doing it because I have also felt a little stuck myself, is journaling. Journaling is so powerful to moving energies that take residence in your brain. And really first journaling what is residence in your brain. Journaling all of the stuff that's in your head. I recognize that I'm feeling blah, blah, blah. I recognize that this has happened. I recognize this is the whole situation that happened. Have I done something different? Could have I been differently? Yes. Have I achieved something differently? Yes. So important to see about doing the activity of journaling. So important to see, okay, what are all the things you're feeling? What were all the things in your head that you were feeling? What were all of the emotions that are there, and journaling that down. That way you're brain dumping all of that stuff that took residence in your head. So journaling is a great way to just get it on paper, write it down, and it'll start to help actually, and even journaling as you're vocalizing it as you're journaling helps, right? Vocalizing as you're journaling really also helps to be able to dump it down and dump what you're feeling, dump all those emotions out of your body, out of your head onto paper. And even burning that, honestly, and getting rid of it after you journal is a great way to energetically cut whatever's taking residency in your brain. And if you've got things in your brain that you just can't get past, you can't get it unstuck, it's just sitting there in your residency brain, booking a session with me obviously helps too, because I can see where that residency thought has come from. Where is it tied to? What are some of the threads that it's connected to that maybe in your current situation it's tied to? And then I'll tie it to the past, and I'll tie it to, okay, where has in the past that has happened where it takes residency now and then. It pops back up into your brain now and then. And so we can pull that thread and tie it to somewhere, so that way we can start to shift that mindset a little bit for you as well. So I definitely can help with the session if none of these tips or techniques help with you. So just wanted to pass on. It was just something that my partner really connected to for a good week, right? It took residence for a good week, and that journaling, those lists we did for the full moon really actually start to help him realize it took residency there, and then it's been in there and it's been residency and it was stressing him out. And so those actual techniques actually helped him connect to that and start to release it. And he actually really did feel a difference. He's totally more relaxed now and so much more calm now. So it definitely can help, right? It definitely can help activities that you can do to clear and let go of the things that take residence in our brain. So hopefully that has helped you, especially if you are going through something. I can totally relate. I am here to support and to keep you motivated and moving forward. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to let me know what are some techniques you do to help move the residency energy in the brain when it gets stuck in there. What are some other techniques? I'd love to always incorporate that into my work. Thank you for listening. Hopefully this helps, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.